All right, let's talk about that feeling. You know the one? You're scrolling through your feed and suddenly you're just exhausted and angry. Well, it turns out that feeling isn't an accident, it's a strategy. It has a name, and today we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how it works.
I mean, seriously, does this not hit home? If you've ever felt your blood pressure spike over some post that just seems designed to make you mad, you get it. This quote just nails that feeling of, oh, so I'm not crazy. This is a thing. And yeah, it's a thing. It's the whole point.
And get this, it's not just some niche internet slang anymore. It's official. When the people at the Oxford English Dictionary make something the word of the year, you know it's not just a trend. It's a huge part of our culture now. So let's get into it. What is rage bait, really? Okay, so let's get a really clear definition. Because honestly, the first step to disarming a weapon is understanding exactly how it's built. Here it is, the official definition. Now, the two most important words here, deliberately designed. This isn't someone just sharing a controversial opinion. Nope. This is content that is specifically engineered, like a piece of machinery, to make you furious. The goal isn't a discussion. It's not even about information. It's just about getting a reaction. And angry reactions, well, they work the best. Now, you might be thinking, wait, isn't this just the same as clickbait? And that's a great question, but there's a key difference. Clickbait, wants to make you curious. It dangles a mystery in front of you to get that click. Rage bait, it's like clickbait's more sinister twin. It couldn't care less about your curiosity. It wants your anger. It's aiming right for your negative emotions because, as we'll see, nothing drives engagement quite like a good old-fashioned fight. And this is not some small, fringe thing happening in a dark corner of the internet. According to Oxford, the use of the term rage bait has tripled in the last year alone. That massive jump tells us two things. One, this tactic is exploding in popularity. And two, we're finally starting to notice. We're putting a name to the monster. So why does this stuff work so darn well on us? What is it about our brains that makes us so vulnerable? To figure that out, we have to look inside our own heads, because this whole system is basically designed to exploit our natural wiring. It's the big question, right? If we kind of know we're being played, why do we keep taking the bait? Well, it turns out the answer is buried deep in some pretty powerful psychological triggers. So, our brains are basically primed for this stuff. First, you've got this weird thing called the confrontation effect. We actually tend to engage more with things that we disagree with. Then, there's our built-in negativity bias, which means our brains are like Velcro for bad news and Teflon for good news. But here's the wild part. Moral outrage can actually give us a little hit of dopamine. That's right, being righteously angry can literally feel good, chemically. And finally, arguing online is a quick and easy way to signal to our tribe that we're a loyal member. You mix all that together, and you've got a recipe for getting hooked. Okay, so we've got the psychological weakness. Now let's look at how that weakness is turned into cold, hard cash. This isn't random. It's a calculated system, a pipeline for turning our anger into profit. And this diagram just lays it out perfectly. It's a cycle. Step 1, someone posts something they know is going to tick people off. Step 2, we see it, we get mad, and we jump into the comments to tell them just how wrong they are. Step 3, the algorithm, which only cares about engagement, sees all this activity and thinks, wow, this post is popular, so it shows it to even more people. And then, step 4, the creator and the platform get more views, more ad revenue, more money. Your outrage becomes their currency. It's that simple. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Experts like Dr. Rimpa Sarkar are pointing this out. Our own brain's reward system gets hijacked. The algorithms aren't evil, not really. They're just doing what they were told to do, maximize clicks. And they've learned that nothing gets clicks faster than starting a digital dumpster fire. But here's where it gets really serious. This isn't just about a few heated arguments online. The consequences of this constant outrage engine are spilling over into the real world, and the stakes are getting incredibly high. This is the point I really want you to take away. This endless cycle of manufactured anger doesn't just stay on our phones. It is actively rewiring our society, our politics, and even our own mental health. Just look at this list for a second. This stuff fuels political polarization, turning opponents into enemies. It destroys trust in institutions because our feeds are just flooded with the most extreme, context-free nonsense. Studies even show it can make people more supportive of actual violence. It leads to political gridlock, because how can you compromise with someone you've been taught to hate? And for us, the users, it just leads to total digital burnout, leaving everyone feeling exhausted and cynical. And if you're sitting there wondering why on earth would anyone want to spread so much negativity, well, as always, follow the money. A recent report found one TikToker made over $150,000 in a single year, mostly from posting videos designed to make people angry. When every hate comment literally puts money in your pocket, the incentive to keep the rage flowing is, well, it's pretty powerful. Okay, so this is the most important part. We know what it is, we know why it works, and we know how damaging it is. So what do? How do we arm ourselves? How do we learn to spot the bait before we bite down on the hook? Think of this as your personal field guide to spotting rage bait. First, be on the lookout for those insane headlines that use words like destroys or slams. Second, watch out for quotes or images that feel like they're missing the full story, because they probably are. Be super skeptical of false balance, where they pretend a settled fact is somehow up for debate. And finally, just ignore those extreme hot takes that have absolutely zero evidence to back them up, or those questions that start with, "Am I the only one who thinks?" Trust me, you're not. They just want you to argue.
Because in the end, it all comes down to this. This whole rage machine only has power if we give it our energy. Every angry comment, every frustrated share, every single click is a vote. It's you telling the algorithm, yes, please show me more of this. But here's the thing, the choice is always ours. We can choose to pause, to just keep scrolling, to refuse to take the bait. We can choose to starve the outrage engine and feed the content that actually informs us, or connects us, or even just makes us laugh. The power to fix our timelines is, quite literally, at our fingertips.